Alright guys, it's Jahlon with the Paradox Gaming Network, and today I am really happy to be talking about Fractured. I've been covering Fractured all the way back since they were in Kickstarter. Last month I did an Alpha 2 playthrough that's just popped up in the upper right hand corner. And today I'm going to be giving you my top 5 about Fractured, because there's so many things going on that I want to tell you about why I'm excited. But more than that, I am stoked because I know that Prometheus, the CEO over at Dynamight Studios, he's waiting for this video link. So he's going to be coming over here, checking out this video. So if you've got anything you want to say to the developers, like tell them a good job for building the game, or you want to kind of highlight and stress a really important thing, leave that in the description below. If you stick around to the end of the video, I'm going to tell you how to get an Alpha 2 Test 3 key from me. I'm going to be giving those away on Monday. And if you leave before the end of the video because you're going to go buy your Founders Pack for Fractured, remember, code Jahlon at checkout saves you 10%. With that said, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, ring the bell so you know when I do more videos, and let's sit back, relax, and let's talk about Jahlon's top 5. So number 5 for me has got to be the player cities, the player-run government, because I am just tired of my MMOs having static cities that are run by NPCs and not really having any player interaction with that. It's kind of the new thing a lot of games in development are doing. As you take a look at the screen here, you'll see all these open available city plots or some of these filled ones, and this is the one I'm standing in. I'm actually a member of a city. I picked it before this test went live. I didn't know anybody in this city, but I'm going to tell you the people that are living here are great. Already getting that social dynamic immersion as we start doing things like building our city together. Now, a huge thing, and this might seem like really minor to some people, but when I came into my city hall and I clicked on the citizens bench, the big thing here is I get to see that I'm a citizen, and it tells me how long I've been a citizen. And that to me is just a really big draw in for the immersion. The other thing is the game is in development, so we're seeing some stuff happen. But we've got 27 citizens. We're a decaying hamlet. I don't know quite why we're decaying, but I'm not, leadership here. I'm not the governor. I'm not a vice governor. I'm not here to tell you about being a governor. I'm just here to show you little quick tour around our town. Now, one of the things that you're going to see is right in the middle of town, you have your bank. I think that's really cool. And so it's not a shared bank. This is actually your stuff. And your governor has to place down buildings and you have to build them. I have shown building in a previous video, so I'm not going to go into how complicated that is. But yesterday when I logged out, none of these bins were here. We hadn't placed them yet. And now you can see that there's people doing some leather refining. Come in here a little bit more. You've got the weaving station. If you want to make some specific higher grade cloth than what you can at your own personal house. We also have the crafting station, the tailor's bench, so you can make your armor if you don't want to haul all the way back to the starter town. And in truth, when the game gets going, those starter towns may not have those features. I also really liked the fact that one of the buildings is like your common area, your common tavern. This is going to add more to that social dynamic. Now, there are a ton of things I've talked about, things that the governors can do, things that the vice governors can do. And if you want to go ahead and take a look at that, I'm going to leave a link to this article. This is the Feature Spotlight 7, Towns, Governors, and Politics. And there is a lot of stuff here. There's a ton of bits and pieces. I love the developer journals that they're doing. They show you like conceptual stuff that they're going to be doing. The other really cool part is it's going to start explaining the town states, the hamlets, the towns, the town politics. One thing I love is that there's both free towns and guild towns, and you can switch your types between that. But if you want to go from a free town to a guild town, 2/3 of the citizens have to agree with that. And like I said, guys, I don't want to do a usual 101 video that I do. I don't want to drop all of this information on you. I'm just doing the big highlights. So yeah, if you're interested in learning about the politics in the towns, this link is in the description below. All right, guys, home sweet home, right? Player housing is starting to become a really big deal in MMOs, and I really love how Fractured has done this. So you're standing here, you're at my house. I am kind of in the process of, building a fence. Not that I want to separate myself from my neighbors, but, just little things to do. But I love the fact that when you claim a property, you bring up the blueprint menu, and you've got sizes from the really tiny houses, 3x3s, 4x4s, 4x4s with a patio, 4x4s with or 3x3s, all sorts of different sizes. I actually have built bigger houses in previous testing, but I kind of liked this one. I like the way this works. Also, like when you come around, you're not going to go all the way in the building. It's a kind of a top-down view. Since it's a top-down game, they just drop that roof out. I think this looks really slick. I come over here next door to my neighbor, and my neighbor's got, the same sort of house, the same layout. You can do a little spinning of the houses. You can lay them out differently. I'm going to fast forward ahead here as I run across the field to my neighbor's. Alrighty, and now I've crossed the way over to my neighbor's house, and as you can see, my neighbor's house is a little bit different. They went for a little bit bigger of the model, and as I click into their house, you can see they've got, they've already done their bed, their big chest. They put their enchanting table inside because they don't have as big of a yard, and that's okay. There's lots of different ways to do this. And again, little bit smaller house, just like mine. They've laid it out a little bit differently. And over here, you're at the docks. Our town is located right near the docks. So there is some necessity to pick your spot and where you're going to work out of the world. Now, I know some people are concerned they don't want their house tied to a town, and that's okay. What you're seeing on the screen is you're seeing there are house plots out there in the world. You see these different colored diamonds up here in my mini map. If you find a gold one out in the world, you can go ahead and claim that. That one's going to cost you 1,000 gold. If you're the citizen of a town, I didn't have to pay for it. There definitely will be some fees for your housing plots in your town. But, of course, like I said, lots of things in development for Fractured still. Lots of opportunity to provide the developers feedback. All right, guys, for my number 3, this is feature spotlight number 6. Unfortunately, none of these features are in the alpha testing, but I did want you to be aware of them. They're doing an alignment system that's on par with the sort of alignment system you find in Dungeons & Dragons. If you read through, and I'm not going to read this to you, they talk about why they're doing it this way. And they're doing it this way because no game has really ever gotten the PvP flagging punishment for ganking system down pat. So what they're doing is they have a karma system that has a range of minus 10,000 to 10,000. And one of those things is the lower your karma, the different the rules you live by, the higher the karma, the less people that you can actively kill. And as you go through, they have a very elaborate system. Humans are basically neutral. Beastmen, they are highly positive. They can't start off the game killing each other. And then there's demons, and this guy's going to be a demon. You're born with a strong negative karma, so you can basically fight everyone. The big thing from Fractured's Kickstarter that got my attention was this last line right here. Eventually, once your karma is sufficiently high, you can start walking the path that will lead your demon to reach its redeemed form, the angel. That's my goal in game. I want to start as a demon and I want to become an angel. It's going to be hard. If you hear about this, you got the good alignment, you got the beastman. If you're good and you're on the beastman planet, you're actually not allowed to perform hostile acts. So for all the PvE players that say, well, I don't want to be in a full world, open world, always getting ganked, full loot drop game, that's cool. Play a beastman, start there. As you come down the line, you got the humans, they're neutral, they can go either way. When you come all the way down to the evil alignment, you've got the demons. And this is the interesting part. If you're a demon, you can only set foot on the beastman planet for 30 minutes at a time unless there are special events that allow you to go there. So you've got your PvE actions, your PvP actions, your all this stuff. I'm not going to read this to you, but you got Arborist ready. If your character is an evil alignment and you manage to enter Arborist, you're in trouble. You can only stay there for 30 minutes at a time. So why would you even want to go there? Because you have to go world to world when you're dealing with the knowledge system, getting knowledge points, and learning skills. We'll talk about that. As you go down, if you come to the demon world, you can't be a beastman on the demon world because just by coming there, you're going to get debuffed by the planet and you're going to start losing karma just by coming here. So it's really an interesting system. Why you have to travel around to the different planets through the different gates is because you're going to want those knowledge points. You're going to want to learn those abilities. We're going to talk about those in just a second. All right, guys, my number 2 is this in-depth enchanting system that Fractured has to offer. Again, not doing a 101 video on it, not going to try to teach you everything about it, but you come up here to your enchanting table, and you interact with it, and you bring in a piece of gear. And so I'm going to start with one I know is not going to work. I'm going to put my primitive hammer in here, and then I've got all these reagents that I'm going to try to put in. So I'm looking for a melee damage increase. I need body, transform, earth, and chaos. So I got chaos is here. We're going to put this in. We've got body here, and you see these dials starting to turn. If I do this, if I bring in, a little more, I got body at 3, so that's good. I bring in a different one. I'm just putting in some reagents. Oh, look at that. First dial is really good, but my transform, I don't have it. My earth, I don't have it. My chaos, I don't have it, because I need to hit at least level 2. So this is going to be a game where you start pulling out and you start putting in different ones. Now look at each item. Each item has fire, water, life. You've got body, death, time. So you're really going to have to spend a lot of time out in the wild gathering different things. You're going to be killing a lot of different monsters because, goblin tongue. Because everybody wants to enchant their hammer with a goblin tongue. But as you go, you see all these other ones moving around as well. This is where the key to farming is going to come from. Now, I know a lot of people are just going to go flat out using the spreadsheet, sharing all the data. I have no intention on using the Excel spreadsheet that's going around. You might want to do it if you're going to do some testing. But what I want to do is trial and error. And this system is why you're going to go to all those different planets, because you can only find certain things on certain planets. So I'm going to bring in my primitive mage stage, my mage staff here. And obviously, what I'm probably going to be looking for is spell damage increase. A mage, probably a good thing. So I'm going to start putting things in that I already pre-planned. And oh, look at that. It lit up. Just 3 of them and not even a high quantity of them. I lit that up. I'm going to put in another one. Oh, that didn't get me where I want. Body, death, and time. Mind, transform, chaos, energy. No, so I don't want you. I'm going to take you out of here. You are the wrong thing. So we're going to do mind, transform, chaos, and energy. Do we have any of that? Energy. Oh, look at that. We're going to pop that in. Oh, can we get another mind? Do we have it? I don't think we do. In fact, I know we don't, because I specifically don't have it. Because I want to see what happens when I throw this in. So we've got our magic damage 96 to 160. We're going to enchant. Let's see what we get. You enchanted your mage staff. We pull this out. 96 to 160. Oh, look at that. Spell damage plus 8%. But now, would I want to really do that? Well, yeah, for the time being, I definitely want to do that. I'm going to be out there. I'm going to be killing stuff. But what does that drive me to do? That's going to drive me to go and get all those things that I just threw in here that I didn't use. I'm going to want to go make another mage staff. I'm going to go get the best stuff I can get for making another mage staff. So that might send me, when all the other worlds are open, that might be the reason why, as a demon on a path to redemption, I have to go to those other worlds. So the enchanting system, awesome. And it goes hand in hand with my number 1. All right, guys, before I get to my number 1, you're going to see I dropped off all the extra stuff on the screen. I want to just talk to you as a player, as a person, not as Jahlon. I want to talk to you as the player behind Jahlon. And I want to say to you, my honorable mention is for Prometheus over at Dynamight Studios for 2 really big things. Number 1, when I was a nobody content creator, and for the record, I'm just slightly above a nobody content creator, he saw a really bad video that I did, but he took it. He said, can I put this on my Reddit? He contacted me on Discord. He shared it on their Reddit. Now, part of that is because nobody was really covering it, but part of it was he saw a content creator that was interested in his game. He got me early, and I've been making content for him ever since. So in that time exchange, I will say he contacted me. He gave me alpha keys to give away on my stream. He's given me permanent alpha keys to give away to my viewers, and I gave those away last month. But the other thing that just impresses me about him, and I wanted to give him an honorable mention, was last month during their open testing, they had some downtime, and the developer of a game in alpha gave compensation to players for free testing during open development. If they're going to do that sort of, compensation for their just maybe players, really says a lot about the company and their vision and their direction when we get into the actual game. So we know they care about their game, and that goes a long way for me. So he deserved an honorable mention. And number one, guys, the thing that I am the most excited about for Fractured is this classless game system. Now, what do I mean by a classless game system? If you saw my alpha overviews, you'll see that when you make your character, you pick a starting class, but that's only to get yourself a handful of abilities. You'll notice down here I have some abilities on my bar. Well, I've picked those. You're also looking at my ability section. The interesting thing here is all of these are locked, because these are abilities I am eligible to learn that I had to hunt monsters down for. In Fractured, you do not get information because you hit a level. In fact, you'll see up here, there is no level. I do not have a character level. What I have is I have certain abilities that I have learned because I went and I hunted down certain monsters and I learned their ability. So let me show you the Black Widow hatchling. This is where I got my magic missile from. And you have to go and get this ability. The game sends you to do this, so you learn this process. So I've learned this ability. You'll notice I only know 50% of the knowledge about Black Widow hatchlings, so I don't necessarily know what their damage is for elemental shock or poison. I don't know their accuracy, their evasion. I don't know those numbers yet. Let's look at something that I do know 100% of. 100% of Goblin Trappers. I know every single thing there is to know about Goblin Trackers. So if I want to come and I want to make a perfect build for hunting Goblin Trackers, or Goblin Trappers, I would know that. Now, a lot of these are placeholder. They're still developing the game. But the cool thing is as I come down to the bottom, I have learned Net Trap. And you don't have to reach 100% to learn it. You learn it at different levels. You learn it at different times. But if I wanted an ability that lets me throw a net towards a target and capture the people in that, I could click on this right here. I could spend 1,200 knowledge points. You'll see my knowledge points up there. And I could learn this ability. And then I would memorize it the next time I go to a fire. However, look at the allowed weapons, melee and ranged. You need light or medium, or unarmed. And you need light or medium armor. Well, unfortunately, I don't qualify for that because I'm using a light mage weapon. So as you build your class, certain abilities cannot be used by the weapon you're holding. But here's the cool thing. When you go into your character sheet, I have my staff. If I hit tab, I have a different weapon out, but now you'll notice that I can't use these abilities because these don't work off of the weapon I have. So you, in theory, could have multiple rows of abilities, and then when you swap weapons, just like you do in Guild Wars 2 or ESO, you would have different hotbars for different weapons. The other thing I love is there is no class system. What you're going to do is you're going to come back into this skills and abilities setup. You're going to go into talents, and this is a huge talent tree. I'm actually going to link the article for talent trees as well, so that if you're interested, you can dig into that. But as you see, I've been kind of bebopping around the chart, picking up, different stats. And of course, all of this is due to be balanced. However, I was tired of never evading anything. I was tired of just being weak. So, I went a little fortitude. I went a little endurance. I came over here. I'm getting ready to go a little life regeneration because I like passive regens. But that doesn't mean I've neglected my mana regen over here. You see I have 3 times into this circle, so I have 9 mana regen. I have to go 1 more. But because I already went 80 willpower, I've already unlocked intelligence. You are basically building your character exactly how you want it to be built. Now, a couple of cool features of this. When you first start finding resources, you do get some knowledge points when you first find a resource, but you can't knowledge point grind by gathering. And that's why you're going to go to the different worlds. You're going to go to the different worlds so you get that big plus up in knowledge points. And then Once you've mastered a particular beast, it no longer gives you knowledge points. So I can go and kill goblin trappers for the rest of time if I want goblin tongues or gold or whatever they drop, but I am not going to get any more knowledge points off goblin trappers because I already know 100% of what there is to know about them. So for everybody that's ever wanted a game that has a classless system where you're basically a person and you're going ahead and building what you want, this is the game for you. All right, guys, and that is it for today for Fractured. Now, I did tell you there's going to be the opportunity for you to win a couple of alpha keys. There is a link in the description below to my Gleam giveaway. What I'm going to do is I'm going to push this video out. Today is Friday the 24th. I'm going to do the raffle at 1800 Eastern time on Monday, and then I will get you your alpha keys emailed off. I believe I have 6 left. I will tell you in the description of that giveaway how many I have left to give away. And then I will be gone for about 10 days. So if you're responding to this video and you're not getting a response, I'm actually at Disney World. So sorry, I'm out on vacation. Until then, guys, you take care. And then in August, when I get back, I should have a little bit of time left to do a couple more live playthroughs of Fractured and then answer all your questions. You guys take care, and remember, code Jahlon at checkout will save you 10%. What are you still doing here? Nobody ever stays this long. This is the end screen. Well, since you're here, there's a couple other videos I think you should check out. And all those names, those are my patrons over at Patreon. I couldn't do this without them. So, big thanks to them for all their support.